Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss typhoid and myself Dinesh Dangar. While considering typhoid, actually this specific topic comes under pathophysiology, third semester B Pharmacy in GTU. Okay, as we know that, or you may be aware about that, in cases of typhoid, the major characteristics that can be seen, that is typhoid fever. In this case, what actually will happen, right? So while trying to understand typhoid, one should know or aware about the infection spreaded through the certain kinds of bacteria, that is Salmonella typhimurium, and this can be termed as S. typhi or the Salmonella typhi, and it utilizes human body as a host for their further multiplication as well as the growth. Generally, while considering the Salmonella typhi, they multiply and grow in intestines, in cases of small intestine as well as in large intestine with the bloodstream, and they are generally spreaded through the fecus of the infected person. And the one main advantage with this specific bacteria, that is it cannot be spreaded through or carried out without humans, because it will be carried by humans only, it cannot be carried through animals. And once it enters into the body, right, once there will be a contamination of with this specific Salmonella typhi, may have a maximum duration of most probably 1 to 3 weeks in specifically in intestine, and further after intestine it invades the intestinal wall and it enters or it will be poured into the into blood stream. While considering the incubation period, it will be usually 1 to 2 weeks, and while considering the illness or the time which is carried out to carry out the illness, that is 3 to 4 weeks. While considering the bloodstream, it will be spreaded into the tissues and the organs with the help of bloodstream. And here even immune system may be what we can say like worthless, is the bacteria utilizes the normal healthy cells for their growth and the multiplication. While considering the epidemiology study or the data regarding the typhoid, in this case we can consider it is an endemic in India, and generally it can be seen in the regions with poverty, or we can say that those areas like slum areas, or the areas with or the we can say that those river banks with so much polluted river and the so much waste metabolites where exactly it will be accumulated or gathered, right? So they are the primary sites which can spread Salmonella typhi, and we can see those urban slum areas with maximum number of typhoid cases in cases of especially children, that is 1% of children that is up to 17 years of the age may suffer from typhoid every year. While considering the numbers or the specific year, that is 1995, there were 3,29,499 cases were reported with Salmonella typhi or the typhoid, and out of it there was almost 672 deaths. In cases of 2013, the cases were raised up to 1.53 million. So here one can understand the way its infection is increasing, or the way its activity is increasing, with yes the number of deaths are reduced because of certain advanced techniques or the medicines which can control the Salmonella typhi infection. So that is again one more plus point here against the Salmonella typhi. While considering the cause, first thing the bacteria, that is the Salmonella typhi, Next one, the host factors and the environmental as well as certain social factors which can spread typhoid. In this case of typhoid, we will discuss each individual causes. That the first one, that is Salmonella typhi bacteria itself. As you can see here in diagram, that how exactly it looks. So if person is suffering from typhoid, it means he or she has a infection of this kinds of Salmonella typhi, which we can see those long thread like structure of the fibers which is attached to the capsule or the inner capsule, right? Okay, they are basically gram negative rods, and they comes under the facultative aerobic, or they used to have a facultative aerobic processes. See, in this case, whenever there will be presence of oxygen, it means it utilizes oxygen for the ATP production. If ATP is not present, then in that cases it uses the fermentation. So that's why it is called as facultative aerobic bacteria. And again, they are motile in nature. Their size may be ranging from 1 to 3 micrometer in 2.5 micrometer in size. In this case, we can have almost 2000 different types of serotypes, which is already identified in terms of Salmonella typhi. And again, they are able to resist or survive at the pH of 1.5, that is too acidic, right? So that at least at that specific pH also it can survive. In this case, antacids, that is this again in that specific categories, antacids. Next is H2 blockers, proton pump inhibitors, gastrectomy. Further, it can facilitate the Salmonella typhi infection. The bacteria which generally grows best at 37 degrees Celsius, that is what that favors the human body, right? While considering the human body, the normal temperature will be ranging between 60 to 36 to 37 degrees Celsius, and generally it can be killed, or it will be automatically killed at or more than the 55 degrees Celsius within 1 hour, or at 60 degrees Celsius in 15 minutes. So here we can target that specific point 55 or 60 degrees Celsius. So if one can have a water which could be boiled, in that case if water is previously boiled, it means it is clean, or it may not have a specific Salmonella typhi, right? So in cases of contaminated water or contaminated food, the process is where it is applied, like we can say that in cases of milk, pasteurization technique is used. So this pasteurization technique automatically removes certain kinds of Salmonella typhi bacteria, where for again in cases of water, certain processes like bleaching, chlorination, even it can have an advantage. Next is the proportion, that is for typhoid and the paratyphoid A, that is 10 is to 1. Again paratyphoid, that is A and B, again the kind of rare, right? In this case we can say that out of 10 only one case will be with paratyphoid A, and the paratyphoid B, which is rare, and paratyphoid C, again it is very rare in cases of India. Next factor or the cause, that is host. In cases of host or human, we can see that the most probably all those childrens are most susceptible to develop typhoid infection, and their ages can be ranging between 5 to 9 years. In this case, while considering the sex, male are more prone to develop it as compared to the female, but in cases of carrier, females may have a more chances that they can be carrier for the further transmission of Salmonella typhi. While considering the immunity, antibody may be stimulated by the infection or the through the immunization. And while considering Salmonella typhi, in reference to that specific two types of antigen, in this case antibody against the antigen O, right? It will be higher in patients with the disease, and antibody against antigen specifically, that is H, is higher in cases of immunized person. Here in this case, Salmonella typhi, which is intracellular organism. So, cell mediated immunity plays a major role in combating the infection because it utilizes the cellular content for its further growth and the multiplication. So, here in this case, cell mediated immunity will have a major role into it. Third factor or the next cause, that is the environment, or we can say that social factors. In this case, typhoid fever is regarded as the index of general sanitization in any country. If person know used to go with certain sanitation techniques or used to follow regular hygienic practices in their routine life or day or they any activity, in terms of any activity, if they follow kinds of techniques, then it may happen that the country may be or may become free of Salmonella typhi infection or the through the typhoid fever. So, it can be considered as a type of an index of the general sanitization. The more the general sanitization techniques are available, it means that specific country may not have a increased numbers of typhoid fever or the typhoid, and the less general sanitization technique or person may not or people may not follow those hygienic conditions in that country. So we can say that those poor countries or the underdeveloped countries are more prone to develop such kinds of infections like Salmonella typhi infection. In these cases, generally their numbers may be increases in July to September, so that it is actually rainy season, right? In these cases, it will be or it will get spreaded through the human fecus. So here the open defecation, it is again the major problem that is seen in underdeveloped countries as well as in cases of developing countries. So that open defecation processes can transfer that feces from the areas from one area to the another with the help of rainy water. While considering its capacity to multiply or grow uh, other than the human body, that is very less. While considering the water, it can be there in water for 2 to 7 days, but one more limitation for it, that is it cannot multiply in water. In cases of the soil which is irrigated with the sewage, may have chances that it may be there up to 35 to 70 days, and in those cold the products, cold drinks or the ice and the ice creams, on that it can survive up to month, right? In cases of the polluted food, it can multiply on that specific polluted food and survive for some time, whereas in the cases of milk, it can grow rapidly without altering its taste. So even person may not be knowing without pasteurization. If milk is provided without pasteurization, it means there are chances that it may have a contamination through the Salmonella typhi. And so here the major drawback, that is what the open area of defecation or open area defecation, and again urination also. So one thing is sure in this case is of environmental and social factor, it follows the low personal hygiene and the health ignorance. So here these are the two simple reasons behind the development of typhoid in cases of underdeveloping countries and the developing countries. Incubation period, already we have discussed about it. In this case, generally it may take you usually 10 to 14 days, so that 1 to 2 weeks for incubation, and after that it may require up to 3 to 4 weeks to completely eradicate out the specific bacteria from the body or the lumen, that is the small intestine. But considering the mode of transmission, so here in this case, Salmonella typhi, that bacteria exists into the host body through its stool, and again rarely these kinds of bacteria will be present within the urine. So if such a person touch any food article without cleaning their hands after defecation, can cause the contamination or and can contaminate the food, right? So if any healthy person eats this contaminated food, then he will also become infected with Salmonella typhi. So here the fecal oral route or the ficus is the major um, area or the major vehicle for the transmission of Salmonella typhi. Other than this, we can consider the contaminated water. Again, it will get contaminated through feces only, like milk or food or anything, or those specific flies, right, which may be flying on or the surroundings of that specific stool, and again it may have they're landing on the healthy food, so that it may get contaminated, right? Next is we can consider here the drop-like infection, that is especially in cases of saliva, right, or the salivary secretions as well as from the nasal secretions, right, as well as certain carriers, like it may be carried through the humans, especially person who is suffering from typhoid can contaminate others. While considering the symptoms in cases of first week or in initial days, that is 7 to 10 days, person may have a step ladder rise in temperature, right, and it can be seen most probably over 4 to 5 days with 40 to 41 degrees Celsius of fever. In this case, a person may feel abdominal pain. Next is the inflamed pair patches near the lumens, and constipation can be seen, dry cough. Next is the dull frontal headache. Next is the delirium, and the increasingly it may affect on the stupor, right, and the malacia, where abdominal discomfort can be felt. In second week, we can see the distended abdomen with the soft hepatosplenomegaly with inflammation in or the enlargement of liver as well as spleen. Even their effects can be seen on the heart. In this case, bradycardia is seen as well as with dichrotic pulse, where in cases of dichrotic pulse, one can hear about the double beat, and over here the second beat will be usually weaker than the first, but person may feel those two beats at a time. While considering the pathogenesis, as we have already discussed, the flow or the pattern, right, the way it migrated from fecus to the small intestine or the intestine. In this case, the ingestion of the contaminated food or water, and it will get, or it may have a Salmonella bacteria. Now it will get enter into the small intestine, where it first undergo their multiplication. Once they may have enough concentration, then it further invades the walls of the small intestine, and further it enters into the bloodstream. In this case, again it will be carried by the white blood cells or the WBC cells in liver, spleen, and the bone marrow, where again it multiply and it re-enter into the bloodstream, and we can see the numbers may be multiplying in million numbers. Further, bacteria invade the gallbladder. Next is the biliary system. That is, the biliary system involves the hepatobiliary route, where the bile juices will get collected from the liver as well as from the gallbladder and the pancreas, and it will be poured into the uh, duodenum. And again, it can invade the lymphatic tissues, which acts as the filter media throughout the body, as well as the lower bowel, and further it can multiply in many more numbers. Then it passes into the intestinal tract and can be identified for diagnosis in cultures from the stool, which is tested into the laboratory. So for this entire time, or for this entire duration, it may require 7 to 10 days, and for complete eradication of it, it may require 3 to 4 weeks. Here, while considering the diagnosis, um, the major thing what I missed to mark over here, or I have not put it down that thing or noted down this thing, that is the vital test. I'm sorry for that. Actually, I forgot to mention it here. The Vidal test, that is the most important test, will be performed for typhoid. Here in cases of typhoid, that Vidal test, again a kind of ELISA, that is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, right? So it is a specific ELISA technique where the antibodies will go and bind with the certain kinds of antigen like antigen O and antigen H, and it gives reaction. So that is what is Vidal or the Vidal test. So again, I forgot to mention here, or I have not put it down that thing here, right? So kindly add that note, Vidal test, right? It will be important in case of MCQ exam, right? Okay, other some findings, that is the splenomegaly, if person is suffering from splenomegaly. Next is the abdominal distension and the tenderness. Next is the relative bradycardia. One can diagnose its own pulse, that is the decrotic pulse, where we can see that 2 beat at a time with rose spots or the red spots on the body. So these are the signs for diagnosis for or in cases of typhoid. Here one can have complications, or the below mentioned are the most complications that is associated with the typhoid. In this case, it occurs generally in or more than 30% of the untreated cases, right? So here in this case, untreated cases it will be 30%, and it accounts for almost 75% of all deaths due to the typhoid fever. And that first is the intestinal hemorrhage, and that intestinal hemorrhage leads to perforate, that is the intestinal perforation can cause further bleeding, and ultimate there will be a loss of blood from the body. Certain other less frequent complications, like there will be urinary retention, and that urinary retention may have or may increases the level of certain pigments or the segments or the toxic material which should be eliminated from the body, but it may get accumulated within the blood only. So that urinary retention again can cause or can cause other symptomatic or the symptoms. Next is where one can have a pneumonia or the thrombophlebitis. In cases of thrombophlebitis, generally the blood clot will be more and more, or we can see that tendency to clot it will be increased, causing any specific artery or vein for further narrowing of it, and it can cause this cardiac arrest. Next is the myocarditis. In cases of myocarditis, the inflammation can be seen within the heart of specific layers like myocardium layer, right? As you may be knowing the anatomy of heart, there will be a specific 3 layers, that is myocardium, endocardium, and the pericardium. In that case of typhoid, the inflammation with myocardium can be seen, and it can be noted down as myocarditis. Next, psychosis, nephritis, and the osteomyelitis. So these are the complications for typhoid disorder. And last, that is the treatment. In these cases of treatment, one can go with the antibiotics, and here the most advantage can be obtained with the antibiotics. But in cases of antibiotic, it may happen that there might be a certain chances to develop resistance. So in that cases of resistance, generally the regimens or the multi-drug regimens will be provided. In this case of empirical treatment, that is will be provided with ceftriaxone and the azithromycin. In cases of fully susceptible, ciprofloxacin, azithromycin, amoxicillin, chloramphenicol, trimethoprim, and the sulfamethoxazole. In cases of multi-drug resistance, ceftriaxone and the azithromycin with ciprofloxacin will be provided. If person is susceptible or may have a resistance toward quinolone, in that case ceftriaxone, azithromycin, and the ciprofloxacin will be provided. So at least remember these 2 or 3, that is ciprofloxacin, azithromycin, and the ceftriaxone. That is actually that comes under cefixime or the cephalosporins. Here the last option, that is the immunization. and in this case it will be recommended those who are living in endemic regions and those who have a person at their home with typhoid infection, right? So in cases to retard the household contacts, and from that the chances of infection can be reduced. In this case the groups will be at more risk of infection, such as hospital staff and the children going school, right? And the certain travelers who proceeding to the endemic areas and those attending many fairs or melas and the yatras, that is journey. So this is all about typhoid. In this case we have started with the introduction, right? So typhoid, what is typhoid? Again, kind of an infection which is occurred due to the invasion of Salmonella typhimurium or the Salmonella typhi. We have next discussion on transmission of it, their pathogenesis, their symptoms. Next is their causes, diagnosis, treatment, and the immunization. So this is all about the brief idea of typhoid. Thank you very much.